For this segment, we're going to begin a discussion of different kinds of verb tenses. Essentially, we have 12 different major verb tenses that we use in our writing and in our speaking. We're going to take a look at a series of three segments that we're going to take a look at the nine most important or the nine most frequent ones that we use. So when we talk about this, we can see that the tenses we use the verbs to provide a lot of information about what's happening in the meaning in the sentences that we write. And we have three different major divisions. Past. So we use the verbs to give some kind of information about past happenings. We also use them for present to explain the present situation, present action, present conditions. Excuse me. And we also use them for future. Since we know that the verbs tell us three things, they tell us about action or condition or possession, we use these three distinctions and divisions to do that. Now what we'll start with first here is, let's start with the simple tenses. Now we call them simple, but really they're not. Just like my tie. It looks simple, but really it's not. So let's take a picture, let's draw a picture to see what is going on. So if we look at the situation, here's now. So here's now, this is the future, that's the past. We use the simple past tense to identify some action that occurred in the past and at some kind of specific time or at some specific moment. And in this case, we can say something like, he watched television at 6 o'clock yesterday. So when we do the simple past, all we do is we just have a ed at the end of the verb on the regular verbs, and this just tells us at this time, before now, at this specific time, 6 o'clock yesterday, so at 6 o'clock yesterday at that specific time, this is when the action occurred. Now sometimes what will happen is we may have a series of sentences talking about a paragraph or something like that. He watched television at 6 o'clock yesterday, then he ate dinner, after that he brushed his teeth, after that he read a book. We don't have to have the specific time if it's happening in a series of sentences, because we know that that time has been identified as some kind of specific time occurring in the past. For present, the simple present tense. So the simple present tense is not really so simple because we use the simple present tense to show habit or some kind of usual behavior. It's not what is the occurring at this moment, but it's what usually happens, or what frequently happens, or what seldom happens, or something like that. So many times we use a frequency adverb along there to tell us the kind of regularity of this. But then it would be, he watches television. Just as simple present. So we just use the simple present to identify some kind of typical behavior. He studies English. He eats meat. He drinks milk. He drives to school. He rides a bicycle. Not necessarily happening at this moment, but it's something that happens frequently, or it's something that is sort of a usual behavior or a usual habit. So it's just some kind of simple custom or simple activity. For the future is always the past flipped over. So if we want to look at the picture of the future, then we would have something here. So then what we would have is we would have some kind of action or condition or some kind of possession occurring at a specific excuse me, at a specific time in the future. So we can say, he will watch television next Saturday. And in order to, excuse me, in order to indicate that this is in the future, we use this modal like this, he will watch. We also say, he is going to watch television next Saturday. When we say going to, the basic implication is that this is like a schedule or like an appointment. Where we say he will shows just in general. But we use these two interchangeably. And in using the simple tenses, all we do is we just say, he will do this at some specific time in the future. He does this, usually, or he did this, he watched television at this specific time in the past. Simple, huh? Thank you.